What's going on, Cigar World? What's going on, Cigar Enthusiasts? This is Jack, the Cigar Enthusiast, and I'm back with another video. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button, smash on that like button, and turn on that notification bell so you can get all the updated content that Jack the Cigar has to offer. With that being said, today we're talking about a very sensitive subject to me and the closure of one of the nicest brands out there. With that being said, strap in, buckle up, and let's go. This video comes in really big disbelief. It's saddening. We're losing a very, very interesting cigar off the market. And I'm really here to cover that story with you guys. If you guys don't know, Nat Sherman International shut down earlier this week. After 90 years, I'm saying 90 years in operation. They started back in 1930 with their cigarette business and slowly transitioned from the cigarette business into premium cigars. Now, Nat Sherman International was acquired back in 2017 by Alter Group. Now, what Alter is, they are a freaking $25 billion company that has a strong hold in every single product line not dealing with cigars. Like, they had a little bit of cigars in their portfolio of what they classified as cigars, which was Black & Mouse. But before the acquiring of Nat Sherman, they really didn't have any premium cigars in their lineup. Now, Alter is a company that really specializes in cigarettes, jewels, cannabis, different things of that nature. They really try to be a Mongol in the entire tobacco industry, not just cigars. I don't care what kind of tobacco you sell. That's why we, for the longest, been fighting with the FDA to remove premium cigars from the cigarette category or that other tobacco category, such as cannabis, jewels, e-cigarettes, cigarettes, whatever the case may be. We want to remove that. So, real quick history lesson that's going to take us a little off topic. But anybody ever smoked a cigar that has TAA on it? Or ever seen the Federation of Tobacco Rights flag where it's like a guy, patriotic, holding a flag? TAA stands for your Tobacco Association of America, and then you have the Smokers' Rights or the Tobacco Rights of America, which these two fight hand in hand together to battle the FDA to loosen up the restrictions on premium tobacco coming into the United States, as well as having to mitigate the different type of warning labels that are gruesome in other countries and putting them on cigars. Because cigars are organic and are 100% tobacco and have no type of chemical reaction to the actual tobacco, that's pretty much the fight. Is like, look, cigarettes and cigars are two different things. So Nat Sherman was acquired by Alter, which again has cigars in the portfolio, very small. Obviously, Black & Mouse we don't classify as cigars, but they had it in there. They could never really get with the premium cigar brand because, you know, they were so used to machine rolled cigars such as like Switch of Sweets or Black & Mouse or cigarettes, different things of that nature. They really didn't have an appetite for the premium cigars. When they acquired Nat Sherman, they acquired it simply for the cigarette brand. And then if you don't know, the person that's really been the face of Nat Sherman, which has really turned their cigar around, has been Michael Kirklock. And you'll see him all over Facebook. One of the most well-dressed guys in the actual cigar industry. I mean, he freaking kills it. He really revamped the cigar brand and came up with the Timeless and the Timeless 2 and all the other brands that comes from the Nat Sherman collection. Now, Nat Sherman collection, we could potentially see the Timeless with a different name, but the Timeless as of today or as of Monday has officially gone away. We no longer see the Timeless brand. Now, the Timeless brand was a contract between Nat Sherman and the company that created the cigars. So you could potentially see it. But I mean, the biggest thing is really trying to figure out if they're going to keep the name or are they going to change the name. But 9 times out of 10, we'd all know it. That cigar is probably going to go away. It's probably going to come back. Somebody's probably going to take on the blend and rename it. But for what we know it as, the Timeless is no longer here with us. So if you're at your local brick and mortar, or you're a retailer and you want to get this cigar, you better go ahead and try to buy as much as you possibly can, because soon it's going to be a rare commodity. It was already a very expensive stick, and was also a very well composed stick, especially the Timeless too. And I really was, fascinated with that cigar when I first smoked it. And, having those in my humidor is really something that I'm going to do. But I'm talking about my personal collection. I'm not going to retail them, because at the end of the day, it's going to be worth more if I keep them and age them. So with that being said, like, if you haven't tried the Timeless 2 and you know your brick and mortar has it, for Nat Sherman, smoke up with him, because I think it's crazy. But anyway, so they really tried to find it a new home. Obviously, the COVID-19 really presented some dampers to that party. They really wasn't able to find the person that could acquire them, or a group that acquired them. But 9 times out of 10 is because they sold to Altair so high. They sold to Altair so high that when it came to the negotiation phase with acquiring them back to keep the premium cigar brand going, it was really thrown off. They came in the industry as a wholesaler, into the cigar industry as a wholesaler, and then they created their own cigar. Now, if you haven't known, that their building was leased out of Manhattan, New York, had a huge, nice clock on it that had Nat and then Sherman, and it was called the Sherman Tower. And I mean, this lounge was magnificent, one of the most prestige lounges in the actual cigar industry. And that, again, is something that we're gonna lose. Are acquiring these different brands for things that just going to benefit them, and then they pushing them to the side. And it's sad to see Nat Sherman go, but we have to realize that, we have to fight with the coalition of entities to try to save our cigar rights, and to really get to the point where we're able to smoke and understand that cigars is not the same as cigarettes. You haven't heard people dying from cigars. You do hear people dying every day from cigarettes. So let's just be real about it. And it is what it is. Hope you guys are able to go acquire some Timeless, because they are really timeless at this point. We don't know when they're going to run out. We don't know how much of their production line. Just know at the end of this month, there will be no more Nat Sherman. And that's sad. I'm Jack the Cigar Enthusiast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, go follow us Facebook and Instagram at Dapper D Cigars, as well as go ahead and shop DapperDCigars.com for all your cigar wants and needs. With that being said, I'm Jack the Cigar Enthusiast, and I'm gone.